I grew up in the West. I saw these people being lost, following their desires. They said like, this is the way it is. There's no God, there's nothing, just accept it as the way it is. Thinking like there must be something behind it. Religion didn't make sense until I was embraced to Islam. So the only people that could relate to me at that time were the Muslims. They were waking up early for Fajr. I was waking up early for my business. A lot of these brothers also said, you are already a Muslim. You believe in something higher, you believe in alcohol is bad, all these kinds of stuff, you're already a Muslim. But back in the days, I refused it because I didn't felt that white people could be Muslim back in the days. I thought it were Arabs. He said, before you make the decision, do a little bit more research on other religions as well. Because he said, you will even be more convinced. And I was like, well, that's real faith.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Thank you so much for coming. We are really happy to have you with us.
Thank you very much, brother.
Can you tell us briefly about your life, please?
Oestamde Filet. I'm 23 years old. I'm from the Netherlands. I grew up in a tiny town in the Netherlands. Part of my family is Christian, part of my family is atheist. So I grew up with a lot of questions in life. Alhamdulillah, at some point, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided me to Islam. Just right before I turned 21, I reverted to Islam. Alhamdulillah. And since then, my whole life changed, man.
How was your life in regards to faith? What were you believing in?
Yeah, so like I said, I was raised up in a very tiny town in the Netherlands. They said like, this is the way it is. There's no God, there's nothing, just accept it as the way it is. You know, that's how most people are thinking in the place where I come from. So I grew up more like as an atheist. A part of my family on my mother's side is Christian, so I learned a little bit about Christianity, but it didn't really felt right at that time. Yeah, I mean, I was raised up asking a lot of questions in the beginning, then being silenced by my environment by just saying, accept what it is. I just started questioning life at a very young age. I just started questioning like, what is the meaning of life? Eventually we will die. I had people around me, you know, leaving this life, passing away. I see a lot of people that are successful, a lot of people are not successful. I saw so many things. So I started questioning life at some point. So I've had a long period of time where I was just asking questions, looking in all corners of life to find the answers. I've had different stages in my life. I think in the beginning I was an atheist when I was very young, but it was purely because of my environment. At the older age, when speaking about being 13, 14 years old, I more call myself as someone who believed in something higher, but I just couldn't find the answer. I believed in something, but I didn't know what it was. I remember asking my teacher, I was in the middle of the night, I was thinking like, you have all these stars around us. We are like floating on a planet in Earth, you know, like what does it even mean? The universe is huge, and why is this happening? What is the meaning of it? And I remember asking my teacher this when I was literally 10 years old or something like that. But then I was silenced. So this is just the way it is. You know, this is how it works, and accept it. But the older I grew, the more older I got, the more I started thinking like, no, it's not the way it is. There must be something behind it, you know? Biggest inspiration at that time, how Islam was introduced to me, were by the Muslims themselves. From the place that I was coming from, it was just a small group of Muslims that, I don't know, could really relate to me. Even back then, back in the days, the first seeds that were planted of Islam was when I was 15, 16 years old. And I decided I want to build businesses. I want to make something out of my life.